بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد. Continuing with the advices of Imam Abu Abdullah al-Harith al-Muhasibi rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions a very important rule, a rule which applies to our muamala, our dealings with Allah ta'ala, and also our muamala with people, our dealings with people. He mentions وَلَا تَشْكُ مَنْ هُوَ أَرْحَمُ بِكَ إِلَى مَنْ لَا يَرْحَمُكَ. He mentions, do not complain of one who is more merciful to you to the one who has absolutely no mercy for you. Do not complain about the one who is merciful to you to the one who has absolutely no mercy for you. We mentioned this could be regarding Allah Ta'ala, that a person should not complain about the decree of Allah Ta'ala to someone who is less merciful to him than Allah Ta'ala. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions Allah Ta'ala is more merciful to you 70 times more than your mother. Allah Ta'ala's mercy towards you is 70 times more than your mother's mercy towards you. So we should never complain about Allah Ta'ala to one of the slaves of Allah Ta'ala. We should not complain about the qadr of Allah Ta'ala, the decree of Allah Ta'ala, the decision of Allah Ta'ala with regards to us to someone who has no mercy for us. This is with regards to Allah Ta'ala. Similarly, we should not complain about people who are more merciful to us to those who have no mercy upon us whatsoever. And this is a key piece of advice. We see, unfortunately, people, they make a habit of complaining about their parents to their friends. Their parents upon the face of this earth, the most merciful to you, the people who have the most concern for you are your parents. Unfortunately, we see people complaining about their parents to their friends. Their friends may be people who are there for them in certain circumstances, certain situations, but they can never ever take the position of the parents. Whenever you are in dire need, then it is your parents who will minimum make dua for you. So this Imam is advising us, never complain about those people who are more merciful to you to those who have no mercy for you. Similarly, we see people on social media complaining about their spouses, complaining about their siblings, and they're spreading this message to people who have absolutely no mercy for them. Rather, they are putting it forward to people who, in front of your faces or in front of our faces, they may express some sort of sorrow, some sort of empathy and sympathy. But behind our backs, they are gloating, they are happy. Alhamdulillah, this person has been afflicted by a calamity. So we should never complain of our difficulties to someone who has no mercy for us. If we are going to talk to someone, if we are going to express our sorrow and grief to anyone, then it should be to Allah Ta'ala, because He is the most merciful. And we see this in the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wassalam. The father of Yusuf alayhi salam, what does he say? Innama ashku bathi wa huzni ila Allah. I complain of the sorrow and grief that I feel in my heart, I complain to Allah Ta'ala alone. So if we are going to express our grief, our sorrows, our pains to anyone, then it should be to Allah Ta'ala. And if it's going to be someone from amongst the people, then it should be in front of people who have genuine concern and genuine mercy upon us. Continuing, he mentions, وَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ تَكُنْ مِنْ أَهْلِ خَاصَّتِهِ. Seek assistance from Allah Ta'ala, you will be from amongst the special people of Allah Ta'ala. Seek assistance from Allah Ta'ala, and you will be from amongst the special people of Allah Ta'ala. We see the situation with Allah Ta'ala is completely opposite. In this worldly life, when we will constantly seek assistance from an individual, from a person, then eventually this person will become fed up of us. This person will push us away. They may help us the first time, the second time, the third time. If they are a close associate, a close family member, they may help us a few more times. But eventually, when we will continue to ask help from someone, then eventually this person will feel within their heart some sort of aversion towards us. They'll push us away. But with Allah Ta'ala, it's the opposite. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions in the hadith, مَنْ لَمْ يَسْأَلِ اللَّهِ يَغْضَبْ عَلَيْهِ. Whoever doesn't ask from Allah Ta'ala is angry with that person. It's the exact opposite. So when we will seek assistance from Allah Ta'ala, we will become one of the ahlu khassatihi, one of the close people with Allah Ta'ala, those people who are close to Allah Ta'ala, special bond and link with Allah Ta'ala. In that hadith we see the situation of the angels, or the attitude of the angels, when they hear a person making dua and they are not familiar with the sound of this dua. They say this is an unfamiliar sound, and they take it to Allah Ta'ala in a way that it's an unfamiliar sound. But when this person continuously makes dua, seeks assistance from Allah Ta'ala, then this becomes a familiar sound to the angels, and it becomes a familiar sound in the heavens, and Allah Ta'ala readily accepts such persons' du'as. We then move on to an advice of Ubadah ibn Samit radiyallahu anhu, Sahabi, great Sahabi. He mentions, قال عبادة بن الصامت رضي الله عنه في وصيته لابنه. So this is a piece of advice, parting advice he gave to his son. When Ubadah ibn Samit radiyallahu anhu was passing away, he gave this advice to his son. He mentions, يا بني أظهر اليأس مما في أيدي الناس فإنه الغنى وإياك والطمع وطلب الحاجات إلى الناس فإنه الفقر. He says, O my beloved son, show, express, make apparent despondency from that which is within the hands of people, because this is true wealth. So show despondency, hopelessness for those treasures which are within the hands of people, for this is true wealth. And beware of greed and seeking your needs from people, for verily this is true poverty. Ubadah ibn Samit radiallahu anhu is highlighting the difference between true wealth and true poverty. True wealth, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions in a hadith, is ghina al-qalb, is having the contentment of the heart. If you show that you are not in need of that which is within the hands of people, you don't look towards people with the eye of greed, with the eye of need, where you see a person better blessed than you in wealth or in physique. Rather, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam advises us, when you see someone who has been blessed, has a greater blessing than you in terms of wealth or in terms of physique, then also look towards those who are less fortunate. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, this is hariyun an la tazdaru bi ni'matillahi alaykum. This is more likely for you that you will not belittle the blessings of Allah Ta'ala upon you. So do not show that you are in need of those things which people possess. This is true wealth. And beware of greed and seeking your needs from people, because this is true poverty. Because a person, he can have everything, but if he has greed, then this person is the poorest of all people. And this is highlighted in the life of the Salaf. A person came to Ibrahim ibn Adham rahimahullah. So Ibrahim ibn Adham rahimahullah, he was a princely person. He was of nobility. He was a king of a particular area, or a ruler of a particular area. But he abandoned his kingship, his rulership, his leadership for the sake of Allah Ta'ala, and he chose the life of asceticism. He chose a life of complete dedication to Allah Ta'ala. So a person came to Ibrahim ibn Adham and he said to him that, I want to give you a gift, I want to give you a jubbah, I want to give you a garment as a gift. So Ibrahim ibn Adham rahimahullah had a principle: he would only take from people who were self-sufficient, meaning they were not in need themselves. So Ibrahim ibn Adham rahimahullah asked him, are you a ghani? Are you a person who is al-ghani? this word rich. So the person, yes, he said, yes, I am ghani, I am rich. So then Ibrahim ibn Adham asked him, how much wealth do you have? So he said, I have 2,000 gold coins, 2,000 dinars, 2,000 gold coins. In that time, very wealthy person. So then Ibrahim ibn Adham, rahimahullah ta'ala, says to him, would you prefer that you invest those 2,000 and that 2,000 becomes 4,000 gold coins? And immediately this person said, yes, of course, great investment, 100% return on what I invest. So Ibrahim ibn Adham took the jubbah and gave it back to him. And he said, Anta faqir, you are indeed a poor person, because within your heart you have the greed. You have 2,000 gold coins, this is not sufficient for you. You have the greed for another 2,000 gold coins. I have no need for your jubbah. Because this person, he expressed true poverty, which is the greed within the heart. And then we continue with the piece of advice. وَإِذَا صَلَّيْتَ فَصَلِّ صَلَاةَ مُوَدِّعٍ. Whenever you offer salah, offer the prayer of one who is bidding farewell to this dunya, bidding farewell to life. Meaning, pray as if you are about to die after your salah. And this is some advice taken from the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised us that we should offer each of our prayers as if it's the last of our prayers. Now, if we were to know that this is my last prayer, imagine the kayfiyah, imagine the manner in which we would perform our salah. Let us think for a moment. Imagine this Maghrib salah we're about to perform will be our final prayer. We know it's to be our final prayer. Imagine the way we will offer out this salah. Imagine the istighfar and the tawbah we'd make in this salah. Imagine the hopes and the fears we would hold within our heart. In the life of the pious predecessors, we see there are some individuals, and the other scholars would say about them, if Malakul Maut was to visit them today, it's impossible for them to increase their deeds. If Malakul Maut, if they were to find out that the angel of death was about to capture their soul at this present moment, it would be impossible for them to do anything more. This was the level of ibadah that they were on. And this is because they knew that regardless of whether we know our time or not, Malakul Maut is definitely appointed to take our souls. We just don't know the time. So they preferred to remain prepared throughout their entire life. And then he mentions, وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّكَ لَن تَجِدْ طَعْمَ الْإِيمَانِ حَتَّى تُؤْمِنَ بِالْقَدَرِ كُلِّهِ خَيْرِهِ وَشَرِّهِ. Know that you will never taste the true sweetness of Iman until you believe in fate totally. It's good and it's bad. This is a core belief, one of the fundamentals of Islam, belief in fate. But it's our attitude towards this, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions in a hadith, ما أصابك لم يكن ليخطئك وما أخطأك لم يكن ليصيبك. That whatever you have achieved or whatever reaches you, it was never about to miss you. Whatever has befallen you, it wasn't about to miss you. And whatever has missed you, it was never about to befall you. Meaning that our attitude towards anything should be that we are content with whatever Allah Ta'ala has decreed. And whatever Allah Ta'ala has decreed, that is what will happen. مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ كَانَ وَمَا لَمْ يَشَأْ لَمْ يَكُنْ. Whatever Allah Ta'ala has not decreed, it can never ever happen. And that is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentions in a hadith that when something happens, we should never ever say, لَوْ أَنِّي فَعَلْتُ كَانَ كَذَا وَكَذَا. If only I did this and if only I did that, it would have led to a different outcome. Whenever we come across something, the outcome of which we are not so pleased with, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam tells us to say, قَدْرُ اللَّهِ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلْ. This is the decree of Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala does what He wills. Whenever Allah Ta'ala wants to protect a person, no one can harm them. When Allah Ta'ala wants to harm a person, no one can protect them. There are a few stories mentioned that a person, the ruler of that time became displeased with them. The ruler of that time became displeased with them, and they wanted to harm them. And as was the custom of that time, when they wanted to punish a prisoner, they would throw them to the lions. They would throw them to the lions. They'd sit in a stadium of sorts, and they would watch the spectacle of this person being devoured by lions. So this person, Abu Ali al-Rudhabari, the ruler of that time became displeased with him, and he decided to throw him to the lions. So they fixed a day, and on that day it was decided this person would be sentenced to be eaten by the lions. So the lions were released, and this person was thrown into the arena. The lions came up to this person, they sniffed at the person, and then they all walked off back into their cages. So then when the ruler saw this, he realized this is a man of Allah Ta'ala, we can never ever harm him. So then this person's students came up to him and asked him, Shaykh, when the lions were sniffing your body, what was going through your mind? So this person said, I was thinking, the saliva that's coming out of the mouth of this lion, I wonder what the fuqaha have to say about this, what the scholars have to say. Is it pure? Is it impure? I wonder what the ruling would be if this saliva was to fall in my clothes. Meaning he was completely content. He was thinking about the ruling of this, the saliva of this lion. Is it similar to a dog's saliva? Is it similar to a cat's saliva? I wonder what ruling this will take. So this is when Allah Ta'ala places contentment into a person's heart. No one can harm a person. Which is why when we will align and attach ourselves to Allah Ta'ala, then we will walk upon the face of this earth without any fear. Because we will know that whatever Allah Ta'ala has decreed for us will come to us, and whatever Allah Ta'ala has not decreed for us will never be able to reach us. And our hearts will remain content. So may Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us the ability to develop these qualities, the qualities of contentment, the qualities of tawakkul and trust in Allah Ta'ala. And may Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us the ability to follow in the footsteps of the pious. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Inshallah, a few minutes left, we engage in dua. Jazakallah.